what put me, I would say, on the spiritual path, I'd call it that way, is that I suddenly noticed I don't have any contact to my feelings. And I felt like I have huge antennas, but I'm not aware of them. I know they're there, but I'm not aware, I can't, feel them, use them, like wrapped up. And when I started about 4 years ago, I learned a lot about reaching back to your intuition, about self-love, all that stuff, and that helped a lot, changed a lot of my life. I was basically, the doctor would have, I never went to the doctor, but it probably would have been like depression or burnout. Looking at my life from the outside, everything was fine. Nobody would have noticed. I always had a mask of being cool and, going out with the guys and drinking, smoking, everything too female, everything too fussy, everything too soft would be for me like, what's she making a fuss about? So I was really ignorant about that, sometimes really mean. And I would always, when there was relationships coming too close, somebody getting too close to me, I would always drop it and move away. It took a while until beginning of last year that I actually found out that I was living behind huge walls all my life, that I was born as a highly empathic, sensitive person, but it just, as a child, you don't have a strategy to deal with that. And it's not that much my own emotions I'm scared of, it's more unresolved pain of others that I pick up. If somebody is triggered, somebody's emotions is triggered, my body just wants to run away. I had, it was one incident last year when I had a conversation with my husband and he was getting emotional and I was shaking all over, suddenly noticing, oh, my body is like, it's really in the flight mode, and which would have been what I normally had done. I would never have allowed a conversation like that. I would have gone, it's all my fault, you're right, I have to change, and I would just take any way to get out of the situation. And I think it needed Dr. Joe's advanced workshop in Bonn last year to actually crack those walls, to actually first become aware of them. It took a while to see all the programs running, all the strategies I had installed to, however, easiest way, get out of the way of any conflict, of any possibility to trigger someone, to stand in someone's way, to take my own space, because that automatically means you might step on somebody's feet. So I would never do that. And obviously always suppressing yourself, your true self, has to lead into depression. And funny enough, when you look at my life now, nothing much from the outside has changed, but on the inside a lot has changed. And it was just so great throughout this workshop to notice that I was suddenly able to not run away, but just grab me someone after a meditation and cry and let it flow, or to just sit in a meditation and the body wants to run out and not feel this, but just let it be there. And I didn't hear Dr. Joe anymore. I was just crying along and shaking all over, and I didn't care about where it runs. I didn't care about whether I needed a hanky or whatever. And I was struggling a few days, and the voices were coming back about, you're no good, and you're still not in meditation, you're still not feeling anything, so it can't work. All this is nonsense, and why do you pay all this money for that? And so, and today as well, I'm trying to talk myself out of it, but even though I still have meditations where there is no emotions coming up, I don't feel gratitude, I don't feel love, but I know it's there. And I do have mystical experiences, and I do see the spectral lights, and I do see my body being completely lit up. And I know from a brain scan that I'm going into gamma. It's just that I don't have the bliss going with it. And I've been to Hanover doing a brain scan, which was very important for me because I saw that, you know, all what you want, the coherence in the brain is there, and all you want, the energy in the brain is there. So that gave me the security that I'm doing it right. It sometimes is overwhelming and scary because it's just there, and it, you know, it's not always nice. It's just, it feels like a huge mountain of pain that wants to come out. And I can't control it, which is okay, because one thing I want to let go of is control. And it seems, well, the picking up of emotions or going in resonance with other people's emotions or pain seems to be so huge. It was just a few weeks ago I walked past a paddock of horses, and I suddenly had a huge stomach pain, and I was wondering, like, what's this all about? And tears coming up. And I looked at my dog and he was fine, and I thought, well, I actually don't feel wrong, so, you know, what's this all about? And I saw a horse lying down, obviously in pain and pumping. So I thought, oh, might be him. So I picked, you know, there was a phone number, and I called them to tell them that their horse is obviously in pain and suffering, so they could sort it out. As I was past the paddock and had a few meters behind me, the pain was gone. So I think it's actually a gift. You can, once my body has learned that this pain is not killing me, once my consciousness is so evolved that my mind and my body and my spirit are working together, this is actually a gift to be part of healing the world and healing my environment, because it's a huge amount of compassion behind it. And I think that is what we need in the world. So I'm part of me is still scared to get over that, but I think it's a gift, and it's my true self, and I want to live it. And I think my soul wants to live it. So what I want to share basically is, if you don't feel anything in emotion in meditation, it doesn't mean it doesn't work. So just trust to your heart, and you get the messages and you get the signs. You just need to be aware of them. It's the universe is showing us so much of synchronicities, and it's just all about consciousness and you know, seeing it. And the healing sessions in this workshop, still I didn't have the emotions of love or of gratitude, which apparently are so important to feel, to be a healer. But I still had, you know, I felt the energy coming through my head. I felt the energy going through my body. And just that I think the emotion isn't there doesn't mean it doesn't work. So that is basically what I would like to share. Because the emotions will run freely once it's the time and the body can stand it and trusts.